Okay, so I've been playing a lot with AI, and I thought maybe today might be a good time for me to talk about AI slop, which isn't a very new term. I mean, maybe I'm just a bit late to this, but if you haven't heard of it for some reason, AI slop is just the things that makes a design feel like it's created with AI, if you get what I mean. And I mean, the term is new, relatively new, but the concept is gonna be timeless. Like the art of standing out, it's always gonna be there because when something is easy to create, everyone's gonna use it, and then once everyone uses it, everyone's gonna look the same, right? So it's kind of trying to find a creative angle to stand out, right? For today, I created 3 different designs with Cloud Design, and by the way, Cloud Design I feel is quite a game changer. It's not quite there yet in terms of the quality of the design, but in terms of how it collaborates the editability with the AI, I feel like it's amazing. I'll go through the 3 designs that I created with Cloud Design and sort of go through with you how I spot what are the things that are repetitive, and you can sort of see with the 3 designs. And then right after that, I want to talk through the 3 things that I've written down here. The 3 things that I use as the foundation to prevent AI slop. And there are definitely a lot more tips and tricks you could use out there, but these are the 3 fundamentals that I always focus on and make sure I nail down so that I don't get AI slop. So yeah, let's just jump into the share screen. Here's what I have, the 3 designs. And right off the bat, you can tell they have the same layout, exactly the same layout. But I want to touch on one more thing, which is the prompt. You can see the prompt, they are very simple. Just one-liner prompts. Build me a website for this, build me a website for that, family dental, wedding photographer, and then AI-powered platform, an application. I don't think prompting is as important now at today's time because AI is getting super good, and when I give it a prompt like this, it will ask me all these questions, and I don't think there's a need that, at least for me, I don't tell it like, imagine you are a design engineer, an expert designer or whatever. I don't do that anymore. Maybe it still helps, but from my experience, it doesn't. So I just give it a very simple prompt, and then it will just ask me more questions, and that's where I can focus more of my time on instead of doing the prompt. So yeah. And the only time where I say like, imagine you are this person or whatever, the only time I do that is when it is an actual person. Like if I want them to tell me how Hexamosi would tackle this sales problem, or if I wanted Crystal to help me figure out the strategy thing, then I would say, imagine you are this person, help me do this, or something like that. So yeah, that's the only time when I do this, imagine you're this, imagine you're that shit. But aside from that, I don't. Everything is very simple in terms of the prompt. So yeah, getting another design. So first thing is the layout is the same, right? Layout is all the same, left and right, left and right, left and right. And one of the things that I find it very icky is the label. I think you don't need labels. For the most part, you don't need labels like this because it's just a lot of noise. You can see like there's a lot of things happening. Like at most, someone's gonna read this and then maybe see the visuals and then the call to action, and then they will move on because it's just too many things happening at the same time. Or like you're being shown too many things. And when you're being overloaded with things, you just wouldn't read anything. AI always likes to give you labels. You see, here's one label, here label, 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 and label. Here as well, label. Oh, here doesn't have, okay, there's a button that's like a label. Like, it's just not that neat. It's just not as necessary as people think. I think when you have something that's a little bit more unusual, something that needs a little bit more explaining, then maybe it's better. But you kind of just want to balance everything out because when there's so much so much text, you gotta figure out a way to make sure the text is easily readable, right? And that's just something AI isn't very good at right now. And aside from that, you can see the copy is always the same. It's 3 lines of body text, 3 lines of headline. Let me go back to this. Okay, there's 2 lines here, 3 lines here, and then here is 2 lines here, 3 lines here. It's pretty standard. I'm not saying this is bad, but you kind of just want to pay attention in the type of layout that you use, because depending on your audience, depending on your brand tone, you want to cater your copy to that audience, to that tone, right? And when you, so ideally, try not to have a brand voice or brand tone that is like this, because people are gonna think that you don't really care, that you just use AI and you know. And yeah, and then there's two buttons everywhere, two buttons, and then you have, oops, sorry, I clicked on that, but yeah, two buttons here. And then for these two, there are the credentials, not credentials, the trust signals here. And then there's trust signals here that you can't really read as well. And more trust signals here, which I think is fine, right? I think this one is fine. It's just the way you express it can be a little bit more creative here. But yeah, that's on that part. And then another thing that's a very, very clear sign is card-like things. So not card-like things. I don't know how to describe this, honestly. But like a container within a container within another container here. You see here, containers, and then all these lines as well, like having this highlight lines, you can see this highlight, this one line of color, and then this card or this call out, and then here as well call outs, and then all these texts as well. So it's really common to have all these boxy kind of style, right? And there isn't a lot of visual hierarchy. There isn't a lot of separation of what you want people to see and what you want people to see next, or the order of things you want people to see. Like, it's just not very clear. It could be more, okay, it's not, okay, it's decently clear. You can definitely tell which one to read first, but the easier it is you make it for your visitors to read what you want them to read, the better they will trust you, the better they will stay. Even the navbar, you see the navbar is the same, and the fonts as well. If you pay attention to the fonts, they look very cheap. They just don't tie into the brand very well. Sorry. There's a general level of overratedness in terms of putting so much time into the font. I don't think when you're starting out it matters that much, but you kind of just want to pay attention in terms of the general vibe of the font. But this one, at a certain point, it feels a bit playful. It doesn't feel professional. And this one, I think this one is just overused, right? Like this space grotesque kind of font. It's overused for tech companies. You don't have to do this. Yeah, you don't have to do this. So, yeah. And then all the mono space font. Yeah, maybe, I mean, you can still opt for the pretty basic standard fonts like Inter. Inter is a very used font. Like, a lot of people use Inter. Like, even Linear, like this huge tech company, software company, uses Inter. Like, Inter is a great font. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, Inter is a great font. You just want to get that general vibe of the font so that you know how to apply it for your brand, if you get where I'm coming from. In terms of the layout, it's all pretty standard. We have the left and right, and then the center aligned one. And this is how AI websites look like, generally. Okay? And yeah, let me switch back here. Okay, yeah, so that's for the general idea of what AI sites looks like. And now going into how I tackle this. So the first thing I always try to implement is a design system now. I know is that sounds very designy, that doesn't sound very, very appealing to marketing and whatever. But the problem with AI right now is, one thing is that it creates all these very standardized components and display kind of visuals. Another thing is that it's AI, it's very tough for AI to stay consistent without a system. And today, it's not that hard to get a design system to work. So if you're already a pretty established brand, you probably don't have to do much. You just have to put it in a GitHub repo, put it into Cloud Design, and you have it. But if you don't have one yet, and you're just starting out, you can copy. So bear with me here, copy, but you want to lightly customize it with Cloud Design. Cloud Design made it very easy for you to customize. So there's this platform called getdesign.md. You can just copy one of the popular design system. This is there. There's like BMW, Apple, Claude as well. There's all the popular brands, the design system, they have it there. Just copy the repo, bring over the Cloud Design, and then you can start customizing. Like you can customize on the system canvas itself, or even when you're creating the websites, you can create the designs. You'll be like, okay, I don't really like this from the design system, change it. For the rest of the project, use this. And then once you're done with the entire project, you can export that whole thing, and then Cloud Design can create like a PDF or like a transmittable format of your design system, so that whoever that wants to create something with your branding, you can use this system. But I mean, when you scale bigger, maybe you want to consider something else. But this is, I think, is amazing right now, because there's a lot of nitty-gritty things a design system has that can be quite troublesome to do, like the spacing, the lining, the letter spacing, the line height, all those sort of stuff is like, after a certain point, it's like it just gets really numbing. Like it just like, it doesn't feel like very, it just feels very tedious to do. So yeah, copying all that rules over is honestly a huge game changer. And then once you apply that, AI completely understand what you want, and create all the things that are not AI slop. Honestly, this is the biggest lifter. Like once you're able to put in a design system that is good, AI will very unlikely that AI will create AI slop, because that's what I did for this project that I did, like this demo site that I did. It really blew my mind how able Cloud Design can actually design something when you give it the right tools and give it the right direction. So yeah. Next thing is references. It's the oldest trick in the book. Have references, have inspiration. Just take like 10 minutes to look through awards, I don't know, your competitors, Mobbin, look through all these platforms, all these marketplaces, find the things that you want one in your site, one in your branding, put it into AI, put it into Cloud Design, and tell it, okay, analyze this first, tell me what you see, and then ask me what are the things that I want to have. And then you can sort of start to distill, and AI just makes it easy to sort of have this back and forth kind of thing and this conversational kind of thing that is just easy to have, right? Because if it's a real person, weirdly, it's easier to talk to AI than a real person, funny enough, because you don't really have to learn how to communicate and stuff like that. But yeah, oldest trick in the book, make sure you have those. It's amazing. And the last one is the quality of your images, videos, and assets. There's something about that quality, that crispiness, that ties everything together. I'm not exactly sure how to explain it, so I'm sorry. But whenever you want to have images, videos, or all these graphical elements, make sure they are good. And I know good can be subjective, but one thing's for sure is the quality. You want to make sure the quality is good. Make sure that it's crispy, make sure it looks good. Next thing is the content. I mean, the content, that's where it gets a bit more wavy. If you have a media team, if you have the budget to hire full-time or a vendor, a good vendor to help you create nice images, nice videos for yourself, I think that's the best case. But if you don't, you can get AI to do it, which is what I did for this demo project. This project, I just gave Claude Code the API key, my Google AI Studios API key, just got it to create something, and honestly, it's great. I feel like it's awesome, right? Like the quality is crispy as well, and the context in the way that the videos and the images have, it just works. I don't know why. Like the coloring and the type of images, they just blend in so well. It just ties everything together, and it just tells them that you care. It just tells your users that you care, that you can be trusted, because when something looks good, they trust you more. Sorry, no. I take back what I said. I don't think it always has to be quality, because trust is so difficult now, right? And even like the way I do videos is pretty raw. Like I don't have any special effects, I don't have any super amazing lens or whatever. And that's kind of the message I want to give you guys, that like hopefully the content in here is valuable enough that you would stay to watch it, and not because of this special effect that you continue watching it, because that's not the message that I want you to have or receive from me. So I think it really depends on the audience and the type of narrative that you want to showcase. If you want to tell a story, if you want to tell like a very sad story kind of thing, then maybe you want to focus more on the content itself, making sure that it really shows that you are, it has to be like according to the type of story you want to show and tell people. So, but that said, even though it may not be quality, but I would still spend a lot of time in terms of the storyboarding, making sure the content is good, making sure if the quality needs to be good, then it has to be good. So yeah, that's the three buckets of focus, the three areas that I super focus on right now to make sure that to prevent this AI slop thing. So yeah, that's about it, I guess. Thanks so much for coming to the end. I know I get a bit jumpy and I get a bit off track sometimes, and I'm trying to get better at this. Yeah, hopefully this helps you. Let me know what you think, and see you in the next one.